Well, this really is a royal event to rival all others. We're talking numbers in excess of what we saw at some of the royal weddings. There are hundreds of thousands of people in the heart of London right now. They've all surrounded Buckingham Palace to take part in this festive occasion marking the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. We've had messages from the police asking people to stay away because there are just so many people that there are fears of overcrowding. I went in yesterday and already it was buzzing. There were people with tents set up along the Mall, the strip leading into Buckingham Palace. This is something that people have been waiting for and they're really embracing it and making the most of it. As you mentioned, it all kicked off a couple of hours ago with the Trooping the Colour parade. This parade has taken place for the last 260 years. It usually marks the birthday of the monarch. However, this year it coincides with the Platinum Jubilee, so it's an extravagant event and everyone is here to see what's happening and to really take part. We saw horses walking through, we saw members of the military, we saw royals, as you also mentioned. Meghan and Harry and Prince Andrew didn't feature in the parade. However, we do believe that Prince Harry and Meghan were watching on nearby. The Queen, there were conversations around whether she would be taking place in events and what role she would play. Already, she's made 2 balcony appearances. The first was alongside her cousin by just the 2 of them. And then later, as this fly past was taking place, we saw her up there with other working members of the royal family. So it really is extravagant, and much of London and people from all over the UK are here to take part.
What else is going to be happening? This is a 4-day celebration, Michelle. There's so much activity taking place over the next 4 days, and it's also, of course, going to be a bank holiday.
It's a 4-day long weekend. Everyone is out and about. Very few people at work. I think I'm one of the few people that is working today here in London. So it's kicking off today, obviously, with this parade. Tomorrow there'll be a service of Thanksgiving, which the Queen will attend alongside other senior working royals. We're expecting that Harry and Meghan will be there, and it may be the one event that Prince Andrew does attend. On Saturday, there'll be what's called a parade at the palace. Now, this is going to be a number of big acts that are performing on a stage that's been set up outside Buckingham Palace. There'll also be the Epsom horse races, which the Queen was due to attend. However, she's recently pulled out. The members of the royal family will attend in her place. And then on Sunday, it's the big day for the public. So there'll be big Jubilee lunches where people will be making the Jubilee pudding, which is a lemon trifle, which was voted the pudding to mark the occasion. There'll also be pageantry, there'll be corgi parades, there's 4 days of fun to be had, and you'll be seeing, once again, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people showing out to mark these big events.
Yeah. And Michelle, you know, you make a good point. She's pulled out of a few events. Since she was diagnosed with COVID, the Queen has been struggling with her health. She has had mobility issues. She hasn't attended a number of events, most notably, of course, the opening of Parliament, which she'd only missed 3 times in her entire reign.
The thing that's really interesting about the Queen, particularly since COVID, is that she'll pull out of certain events like the speech to open Parliament, and there's concern over her health and her welfare at her age, and given some of the health obstacles that she's come across over the last 6 months. However, then a couple of weeks later, she'll be at the horse races, or she'll be smiling and laughing, entertaining guests at Windsor Castle. So it's really hard to know what she'll attend, what she's capable of doing. But so far from what we've seen today, she's very mobile. She's up to the stage of the event, and she's taking part. So we might be surprised at what role she does play over the coming days. However, we do know she won't be at the Epsom races, which is, I think it's only the 3rd time that she hasn't attended. So it's something that she usually does take part in. She loves her horses. She loves racing. So that's one event we know she'll be missing. We don't know whether she'll be at the party at the palace. I think it might be a bit of fun to see her boogieing along, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, and as we're talking, Michelle, she is leaving the balcony. And, you know, it's very apparent that she isn't able to physically, I guess, she doesn't have the endurance to sort of manage these very long events. And we can also see now live pictures. I mean, the numbers of people that have turned out are just extraordinary. I think we haven't seen those numbers on the streets around Buckingham Palace for many, many years.
It's absolutely incredible. We've got two of our correspondents, both Nick Dole and Isabella Higgins, are out there talking to people, gauging the mood. It's really difficult to even get in touch with them. A lot of the phone services are down just because there's so many people out there. The roads have been closed, so we were expecting this. London has prepared as well as it could for this event. They've set up blockades and boundaries and gates and fences to try and, I guess, keep limits on how many people can enter certain spaces. But the entire thing is packed. There are just so many people there. The atmosphere, I think, is one of excitement more than anything. And as obviously the road should clear out soon now that this grand event is over. And I think this will be the biggest event of all the days. The one that I guess was most talked about in the lead up and the one most people were looking forward to. It's huge. It rivals most other royal events that I know I've seen in my lifetime. It's the first time we've marked monarch's 70 years on the throne, the Platinum Jubilee, and people have really turned out to mark the occasion.
Yes, Michelle in London, good to talk. Thank you so much for joining us.